with Just Because Buzz. I'm Merritt Crawford. Thank you for joining me. Today is Saturday, September 7th, 2024. This is a YouTube video about cross-stitch, quilting, wool applique, and if you happen to be just stopping by, I welcome you. And I welcome my former subscribers and current subscribers and new subscribers. It's been a little while since I have videoed. I videoed back in July and had a great response to that video, and then I did a little bit of a follow-up video to my bee stitching and showed you all the things that I could find in my stash of bee things and some bee things that I had already stitched. So got a great response on those videos, and thank you so much. If you discovered me during those times, welcome, and I hope you'll subscribe and hit the like button and hit the bell so you get notification when I upload another video. So today I'm going to talk to you about stitching, cross stitch. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about quilting and some of the things I've been doing there. But I want to start off with just a little bit of a tribute to a lady I didn't get to meet personally, but I did get to meet via her FlossTube and just through some happy mail. So I'm talking about Delene Wilson. Unfortunately, she passed away in August, and we miss her terribly already. Her FlossTube was such a joy to watch. I mean, I felt like I could just reach through the camera and grab a cookie or whatever she was offering and have some coffee and just sit down and visit with her. She was such a delight to watch, and her dog Maisie, just so cute. And last Christmas, when she did a video, she had shared that she had made a postcard and sent it out to some of her friends, but if she hadn't sent you one, that she'd love to send you one and just send her your address. And so I did. And this was the cutest postcard. I just thought it was adorable. Make a joyful noise and look at her puppy dog just howling. It's just the cutest thing. And she put a little note on here: you make this community a lovely place to land. And Daleen wrote that to me, but oh man, was she just a delight. And so that meant a lot to me. Earlier this summer, I had ordered her book and started reading it in late July when I was on vacation, and it's called Practical Hope. So if you get a chance, go back and watch some of Dalene's videos and see her stitching and her quilting and listen to her journey. It'll be a delight to you, and you'll really enjoy seeing the things that she created and praying for her family. So I have been following a word prompt kind of through this year. My beginning word prompts this year, let's see, make sure I get these right. Faith, fearless, and forward were the three words I chose for this year. But along with that, I've been studying in the Bible Galatians 5:22 and 23, which talks about the fruit of the Spirit. And so in August, I studied gentleness, and this month it is self-control. So I just thought I would share that with you, that's something I've been sharing and talking about in my videos. So self-control is this month. So I want to share with you a little bit about a journey that I have started. I started it last year, and I've been doing some pattern designing and reproducing. And so I have some patterns I want to share with you, and then I have a new release I want to share with you. So the first thing I want to do, the first pattern that I actually put out was actually a wool applique pattern. And so it's 2 eyeglass cases. It's called the Sunny Days eyeglass cases. And I made little kits of the wool applique and cut them all out for you. All you had to do was do the stitching. And so this was the sunflower, and then this was the hydrangea one. And I actually did the classes at a place called Garden View, which is up in Ohio, and it's a you pick garden, but they also do weddings and things like that. But they expanded in that they would do classes along with a you pick. And so I reached out to them and asked if I could do a U-pick and a class with the wool applique. It was kind of like a make and take. We could go pick the flowers, then we can make this in the time allotted, which was about 2 hours. And it was so much fun. I do have some kits still left. I have the patterns available. So if anybody's interested in these, they're a lot of fun to make. Or if you're interested in a class, I would love to teach a class and even do a U-pick if we found a place locally. So those are a couple of things that I wanted to share with you as my glasses go out of both of my cases. Oh goodness. Oh gosh, I'm dropping everything. Okay. We'll probably edit that out, won't we? Okay. So the next pattern I want to share with you is, let's see, it will be the souvenir stitches. My cross stitch designs are designed under the title Souvenir Stitches for my company, So Just Because. And so this one is one of the silhouettes. So this is horse and buggy silhouette. And this is bicycle built for two silhouette. So if you're new here, you may have not known that I designed these or reproduced them. And so these two pillows are actually the pieces reproduced, and I made just little pin pillows. And this pin is by Jersey Girl Stitch Co., Teresa and her daughter Anna. And I just finished them with some wool and a little yo-yo on the back. Again, another pin by Teresa, Jersey Girl Stitch Co. And then I also did them in another colorway, and that was suggested by Kathleen and a friend of mine that does YouTubes. It's been a while since she's done one, but she lives up in Canada, and she had suggested that maybe I update it and do it in a blue color. So I did, and so I make suggestions on the pattern for what color you can use. And here's the bicycle built for two. And these are boxes at Hobby Lobby that I was able to purchase and just put the stitching in there. And then the next pattern that I developed was the sherbet milk glass pincushion patterns. And I have taught this class. I had a privilege of teaching this class at the Craft Gallery in Bentley, Ohio. And I am available to teach this class if anyone is interested in having me come to their LNS or their local quilt shop. I have about 12 of these lace edge milk glass containers available. I can fully kit everything and we can have a class. So to see it up close, here's one of the ones that is on the cover. And this is, again, the Jersey Girl Stitch Co. pins. It's a Christmas edition. And these are actually, you can take these out. I stitched them so that they could be taken out, and you could actually do seasonal if you wanted to. I finished them with a little bit of wool on the bottom or a yo-yo, whichever is your preference. And then they just fits back down in there. Okay. One here. This is actually one that I did for the class, and Teresa did some special pins just for that class. And as you can see, this is an example of where you can put your scissors, and more pins by Teresa. So it's a really fun class. It is considered a make and take class. We schedule enough time that you would be able to finish it and take it home and not have a project to finish when you get home. I really like smalls, and I think it's fun to take a class and to completely finish it before you leave. And I would love to teach at your LNS or your local quilt shop. Just reach out to me and we will see what we can do. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my new pattern. And this is called Palm Drive Carriage Ride. And on the front here is one that we're calling Color Pop. And so you can see the colors that are popping there with the little houses. On the back cover, I have the 3 examples that I stitched, as well as the antique that I redesigned. So I'll show these to you up close. This is the little antique that I found in a antique shop in Waterville, Ohio. So cute. So I have reproduced this in those colors. And I popped it into a Hobby Lobby frame. And this particular one is stitched on a 28 count, and I did 2/2, and it only has the 4 colors. So I had found this little shell at a estate sale. I just thought this was a cute way to display this. So this is a 32 count blue linen, and I did, on this particular one, I did 1 thread over 2, and this is considered the color pop. And I did a yellow cording with a pink, an orange gingham bow and a little blue vintage button, and just finished it ornament style with the cording and just a plain back. A little tassel at the bottom. The next one I stitched, I hung it on a jar of shells that I've collected through the years. And so this is on the same fabric. It's the 32 count linen, and it's a kind of a blue, and I have the specifics in the pattern. I did it 2/2, so you see how the stitching is darker. There is an eyelet sun, and then I did a little charm from Hobby Lobby, and I did the blue cording. And the blue cording in this instance matches the blue on that house. So again, it's finished as an ornament style with the cording and the same backing for the fabric. So kind of reminiscent of days gone by in St. Augustine or New Orleans or Charleston, something like that. And before summer slips away, maybe you'd like to get a copy and stitch it. It's pretty quick. So that pattern right now will be available as a hard copy. I'm still working on the PDF and getting that situated, so I will announce when that is available. But if you're interested in hard copies, it will be available, and they will be $6. So I'd be happy to send those to you, plus the postage. So just keep that in mind, $6 plus postage. So those are my new releases, so I hope you like it. It's a little bit later in the season than I had intended to release, but summer's not officially over, and maybe you could stitch it up and have it as a memory of a place you visited before. Maybe use it as an ornament on a tree as a memory of going to Charleston or St. Augustine or something like that. So reach out to me. I put my email in the box below. I also am on Instagram under So Just Because. You can look me up there, and you can always send me a message via Instagram, and I would be happy to respond. So those are my pattern updates. I thought it would be fun to go through that with you, especially since I have a lot of new subscribers. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about in July, I talked about it was around my 4-year anniversary for doing floss tubes. So in this video, I'm going to give a copy of my new pattern as well as the floss to stitch it. And so, in both colorways. So you'll get all the floss to stitch both of these. So we will do this at the end of the video, okay? And your word is gonna be palm. P-A-L-M. Okay, so let's get on with more stitching. So I have some FFOs to share with you. I kind of set a goal for myself to make sure that I have FFOs to show you every time, because my boxes that are over here on the shelving do have quite a few in them and they need to be finished and enjoyed. So I was setting a goal and I kind of exceeded my goal because it's been longer than I had planned to film. But anyway, here we go. So the first one I want to share with you is out of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. This is from the summer of 2021, and it is called BeeCuzz Sampler. And this is by Teresa Miller of Teresa's Primitive Treasures. And I had the privilege of meeting Teresa and her husband at Sauter Village at the it was the rug hooking that they have. They have a big class and show, and it's all about rug hooking, but there's a lot of other needle arts there as well. And so I got to meet them, and what I did when I met them and was shopping in Teresa's booth, I was able to purchase something to put this on, and actually her husband made this. And so this is my finish of the BeeCuzz Sampler. So it's been a while since I've shown this finish, so you'd have to go back and look at some of my videos prior to see what linen and everything. But it is finished on one of his pieces with the wire in it. I have a magnet on the back to hang it, and I finished it with rickrack on the side. I laced it, put a piece of backing on the back. I can take it off and show you. Put a piece of backing on the back just to kind of make it almost look like a picture frame, and put one of Lori Holt's cards on there with the information. I need to add the rest of the information, but I took it with me and I had Teresa sign it for me, so that was kind of fun. So put it back in and I'll show it to you again. And I did my stitch a little different. I wanted more pops of red, so every other little flower I did a pop of red to match the tulip here in the center. So that's the BeeCuzz Sampler. The next one that I finished is also by Teresa, and it is in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and this is the 2024, and it is called Tulip and Sheep. And I did a color change on this. I did finish it the same way, but did a color change. So if you need to know those colors, I'd be happy to share. And here is my finish of this. So I used the same wooden box that she had, or wooden bowl that she had suggested. I used a red paint from Hobby Lobby, and it's called Tuscan Red. And then I used the decor wax over the red paint to get this color. And I felt like it was a really good match with my red. And I just love how it turned out. I made this so it can pop out. It's not permanently in there. I also put a hanger on it so I can hang it if I want to. So the hanger is just tucked behind it. And what I did is I used some little glue dots, so I can show you that. So they're the little glue dots, easily to come in and out, and then here's the piece. And then I just tuck this behind like this, and then I can just lay it back in there, center it, stick it back in. So another of Teresa's really adorable patterns. The next one I did is out of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. So this is the 2023. Really trying to make good use of these magazines because they just have fantastic projects in there. And this one is called Honey Love by Cherry Hill Stitchery. And I did the exact colors that she had recommended, and this is my finish. So I found this little board at an estate sale in Ohio and decided to finish it on that. It's a little cutting board, but I love the shape of the little handle. Thought it was really pretty. And I did the stitching 2/2, I believe it's called. And then I added some brown rickrack to match this brown and a little check. And then this burlap bow that I had saved from something, I don't know what. And then this antique button. The button actually came from like a salesman button card. So that was fun to finish. The next one I finished, and this is my last FFO, is from Hands On Design, Botanical Bee. And so this was a must-have for me. When it came out at market, I just fell in love with it, and it's just so beautiful. I was not able to get the fabric that it called for. It called for Juniper by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I found another fabric that was on Hollis Hands Creates website, and I reached out to Christine and asked her if she thought that fabric would work. And right off the top of my head, I am not remembering which fabric it is, the name of it. But you could probably reach out to Christine and she could tell you. So here's my finish. And I did a two-tone cording around the edge and the backing. But I love how it turned out. Very cute. All right. So those are my FFOs. Now I'm going to move into finished objects that are not fully finished. So I've been stitching on the Country Cottage Needlework Sampler of the Month, and I was able to finish July. I've been stitching on these for a while. They've been out for a little while, so this is the July piece. And I really need something behind it. Let me see if I can try this. There we go. So there's July. And I have an idea of how to finish these. So I'm just going to get them all stitched and then have a big finishing day. We'll get them all stitched. So that's July. And then I finished Pollinator's Garden, and this is a new, I believe this was out at Spring Market as well by October Fiber House. And this is kind of a long one. Let's see. Kind of hard to see it all, but I love how it turned out. I did have to change a few of the colors because I just wanted to stitch from stash. I can hold it up and you can see it. So I'll finish it in a long skinny pillow. And then the next one was ABC. It's a Lizzie Kate. It was a limited edition kit, and I will probably finish it just like the little needle book that it shows. So very cute. Has little beads in the center of those flowers. Okay, so those are my FOs. So I had some new starts in August, and I'll share those with you. So since I finished my July sampler with Country Cottage Needleworks, I decided to start the August one, trying to keep going. If it's focusing or not. So it's kind of a summery look, and I just have a small start on the house. I usually have my design boards, but I forgot to grab some this time. So there's that. And then the next one that I started with my friend Contented Needleworker Kim, and it's called On a Low Branch, and it's by Mojo Stitches. And I'll show you the front of that pattern. I've shown some progress on Instagram, And I'm doing mine on a piece of Luminous Fiber Arts fabrics. And if you want to look at my Instagram, you could see what the name of it is. And then I'm using Weeks Dye Works Kentucky Bluegrass as my thread. And so that's my progress. And it's really pretty. It has a really pretty variegation. And I'm enjoying it. So I started on that bird. Very pretty. And in the bag that I used to house my on a low branch, I have this sweet Stitchy Kindness. Thank you so much, friend. That is just adorable little needle book that was gifted to me last weekend. So sweet. Thank you so much. All right, so that was On a Low Branch, Mojo Stitches. And then for my friend Wanda, who also known as Louise, we call each other Louise, kind of funny. So in the summer issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine 2024, she wanted a birthday start. And so we just started Miss Liberty. And we are doing this on a homework schedule so that we're kind of out of the patriotic stitching, but we thought if we did a little bit of a homework schedule, we'd have it finished by let me say next February maybe. So then that gives us a little time to finish it, fully finish it. So first homework schedule for August was to do the flag. So I have that done. So I've got to do my September stitching. So gonna be very cute. And I believe our friend Jan is also joining us. So, all right. So moving along here. So now we're gonna move into whips. And I have 6 whips to share with you. Those are some things that I've been working on that are not fully finished. Probably not real close to being finished, but a few of them are getting there. All right. So let's talk about this one. The first one is Antique Roosters by JBW Designs. And my sweet friend Kathy over at Pete's Bee Skeps and Carolina Cross Stitcher loaned me this pattern, and it is just adorable. And my progress on this pattern, and there you go. So I've made good progress. It's really, really pretty. I've been trying to do the 1 thread a day, and I kind of go back and forth about getting that done. The thread that I'm using is a first for me. It is the Cottage Garden threads, and it is the Canna Lily color, and I'm really enjoying that. The next whip I have is Though He Seemeth Sleeping, and this is a stitch along with some friends, and we have a homework schedule, and I'm really enjoying that homework schedule as well. It really has helped me. This is a picture of the antique. It is by Lucy Beam, and it is really a beautiful sampler. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And I already have my September homework finished. It's very fitting for fall. If you're into fall stitching, the September homework was that leaf band, so it was perfect for fall stitching. I'm really enjoying this. The pattern offers multiple colorways that you can choose, and I chose the Gentle Arts colorway, and it is just really pretty. So I'm thoroughly enjoying that. The next one I stitched on, I was stitching with Christine of Hollis Hands Creates and others that were trying to start a project on Memorial Day and finish it by Labor Day. Well, I got a very late start because we were in the middle of a move and just different things happening. So I didn't get to start on Labor Day, or excuse me, on Memorial Day, but I did make some really good progress this summer, and this is American Welcome. And I picked this project at Craft Gallery, had it kitted because we now live on a lake, and I just thought it would be fun to stitch this one now, and it's summertime. So, all right, I'll show you my progress here. And I am making good progress. I have the last house all, it's not really framed in, but I have all the windows in so I can do the fill in. Done quite a bit of the grass, kind of tried to do that as I went along. Still have the lighthouse on this side over here. There's a little lighthouse down here. And then of course all the water, some more wording. So still have quite a bit to do on this one, but thoroughly enjoying it. It's really a fun one to stitch on. The next one is one of my older ones, Consider the Lilies, and many of you have seen this, but maybe some of you haven't, and it's by Heartstring Samplery, and it is a really, really big girl, and I don't have a board to put behind it this time, but we'll just hold it up and let you see it. I've gone all the way across with the words and added some more motifs. I've started the little turkey over here closest to me. I've added some motifs there at the bottom. Still trying to get that corner filled in, and then I'll do the tree. Adding a lily here and there. All the lilies are done to the wording. And using some of my own colors. But it's an enjoyable stitch. Just taking my time. A lot of times on Sunday afternoons, this is what I'll stitch on. Next one is Honey of a Tiny Town. I'm stitching this with friends. Actually, we chose our own tiny town to stitch, and I chose Honey of a Tiny Town. And I had the perfect size Ada to stitch this on. It's a 16 count, and I felt like it was a really good color. The colors of the chart really pop on that, and I'm enjoying it. And I think it will make a really good drum with this Ada. I think it'll really be a good way to use that Ada. It'll be a pretty drum. And then my next one that I'm going to show you is one I haven't stitched on in a while. I was stitching it with Shelly of Antique Needleworkers, and congratulations, Shelly, on your new venture into redesigning and reproduction of patterns and original designs. They're wonderful. If you haven't seen that, go over and check out Shelly at her website, and I'll try to link it below. But congratulations, Shelly, that's wonderful. We are stitching together. It's called Fiona Rutherford, and it's by the Wishing Thorn. Let's see if I can get a picture of it out for you. I meant to have this out. And this is the picture of it. It's a little one. It goes with all the other 1866 samplers that I have stitched and want to do some more. And this one is a little girl, and she is stitched. I'll get the information out for you. She is stitched one strand of floss over one square. She finishes at 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. She's a little one. So I've made good progress on her the last couple of nights that I've worked on her. So when I picked her back up, I started with the T here, and I worked all the way across, done that band, then I did the Z, put the her name in and the date, put that bottom row right there, stitches, and then brought down some of the border. I've got all the red in, just adding the brown. And so getting ready to add, there's this, next is this floral band, the house and the trees. So that's what's going in that space there. So for September, I have worked on a few samplers already, and I am enjoying that. When I watched Christine, not this past video, but the last video, she was talking about maybe doing more falls in September, fall smalls in September, and not as much samplers. She likes the idea of spring samplers, or samplers in spring, and I kind of liked that idea too, because I really like fall stitching, and I told her I would jump on there with her. But I have done some sampler stitching too already. I would love to finish Fiona and then start on some fall stitching. I feel like Fiona's color palette is kind of fallish, and so it still ticks that box for me. But in a minute here, I want to show you what I'd like to be working on. All right, I'm going to turn the page and see where we are here on my notes. So that is fall stitching, and I had started a project last year, and this is a pretty popular project to the stitching world. A lot of people have stitched it. It's very beautiful, and it's called Cinnamon Stars, and it's by Plum Street. It's this one right here. And I have more than a start, but not much more than that. So I'd really like to finish Fiona, and then I'd like to get started on this again and finish this. And then I'd like to do some more fall stitching if time permits. So I still have quite a bit on this though. As you can see, I have both sides of the house, all the things in the bottom, all the stars. So there's still quite a bit of stitching to go on this. So would like to get back to that. And then I really, really like the Winds of Autumn book, and I have stitched over half of what's in the book already. And you can check out my fall video last year in November. I did a recap of all the ones I've stitched in this book and in the new Wind Leaves Fall book. And I did a recap of all the things I've stitched out of both books. So if you want to go back and look at those, they're fully finished. So in this fall, I would really like to do this piece. So we'll see how far I get. I try to do one out of this book until they're done, and then I want to jump over to Wind Leaves Fall and finish what I haven't stitched in there yet. There's a pumpkin, and there's several in there that I'd like to pick up and start. So there's this one that I'm interested in. And then another plum streak that I've just kind of makes me smile is this one, Buzz Off. It's just kind of funny. That big old crow on that bee skep, and just all the fun little sunflower looking stars, and the looks like the wool tongues. Just a really cute pattern. So I would like to get to that one. And then I had gifted this to Louise, and she gifted it right back to me after she finished stitching it. And so I would like to stitch this as well. Just such a pretty stitch. So I'd like to do that. And look how it's finished with the wool edging. I love that. So there's that one that I want to stitch in the fall. And then she let me borrow Primrose Cottage, so I'd like to stitch that. Let's see. I have some other things I want to show you. So I have this that I'd like to stitch, Miss Judy's. And then we're going to start, if anybody's interested, we're going to start Feast of Friendship November 1st. and we did a homework schedule for it as well. And I don't know if I put my homework schedule in here. I did. So we're planning on having it finished by August of next year, so we could have it fully finished for our fall displays next year. So if you are thinking about stitching this, you want to join us. This is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Design. That'll be a November 1st start. Okay, so wanted to share with you a few things that I've gotten recently, and that's really a very few things, and mainly 2 books. So I purchased this book, and it just has some really, really pretty projects in it. Autumn Bounty, and it's by Renee Nanneman of Needle Love. And if you've seen some of the Needle Love books, they are just wonderful. I have one that's the strawberries, and it just has some great projects in it. And then there's this one that's a fall book. One of the things that's really intriguing to me is this owl. I just think that is just adorable. So anyway, that's one book I purchased. I also purchased Women of Grace and Charm, which is by Blackbird Design. And it just has some really wonderful stories about these women during World War II. And then it also has some wonderful quilt projects. There is some cross stitch in here as well. Just some really neat stories. And so I love patriotic and love those colors, and so got that. And then I had to pick up the Just Cross Stitch magazine because Lenny and Roberta are in here, and I just thought that was so fun. So I picked this up, had to have a copy of it to save and read through that. I did pick up the Classic Colorworks Caroling Red. I'd love to do something with that in Christmas. This is a new color in memory of her mother. And then I won a giveaway from Lindy Stitches. And Stephanie is just so fun, and love to watch her videos and her market videos. And I won this by Twin Peaks Primitives. It's Quirky Critters 2024. And I had commented how much I really liked the horse. I thought the horse was really pretty. But how fun. And she sent some fun things like this little postcard, and it actually has the little stitching for this, and then just some little bird ephemera. So excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, so those are some things I recently got in the mail. I did take a quilt class with the Wayne County Extension Office. I was invited after I had been to a Stitcher's Day. A friend that I met at Stitcher's Day and some other friends that I had met at a local quilt shop had invited me to go to this. And it was sponsored by the Wayne County Cooperative Extension through the University of Kentucky. And they were teaching the Metro Rings class by So Kind of Wonderful. And I already had the ruler that is required. I just had to get the pattern, and I downloaded a PDF of the pattern. And it's, like I said, it's called Metro Rings. And instead of purchasing fabric for the whole quilt, I just wanted to try it out and see if I even liked the process. Because sometimes you don't really, you get into a quilt and you just don't like the process, or you don't like how it's put together, or you don't like your colors that you chose, or whatever. And then you feel like you've got an investment in all this fabric and you're not happy. So I decided to choose from my stash some things that I already had, and just to make enough for a pillow top. So I'll show you that now. I had some Mary Englebright fabrics left over, and I decided to make just the pillow top. And I am very pleased with how it turned out. It's very cute. It was a fun class, and it was a fun ruler to use. The steps are very good. the pattern is, I feel like it's well written. It is time consuming. It is something that you want to take your time in doing the cutting with the ruler. You do have to kind of learn how to use the ruler, where to put your rotary cutter in the spaces, and that might make a little more sense if I show you the ruler real quick. So this is the ruler. I don't know if this will help or not, but you can see it's got this opening here, this arc, and so trying to cut down the middle is not a good idea. It's not accurate. Let's put it that way. If you line your blade of your ruler on either side, then you're going to get a more accurate, and if you stick to that side throughout your cutting, then you'll be fine. There are some wiggle room in that you're going to cut down these blocks after you get them made. Then you size them up to the correct size, so that does help. There is a little bit of waste, so you keep that in mind. But it was a fun class. I enjoyed it. I had a great day, and I'm happy that I was able to finish my pillow top. I'm finished one block in the class, and then I came home and finished the other 3 blocks and put it together. So that was fun. Met some nice ladies. And then I did make a project bag since I last saw you, using up some scraps. These are some scraps from Kate Spain, and this particular piece though is from probably a June Taylor printed pattern where you can cut the different sayings out and then put them inside a quilt pattern. And so I quilted it and then put a zipper in. The zipper pull came from Jersey Girl Stitch Co. And my lining is wild and crazy because I had to piece it. So, and then I like to bind it and stitch it back just like I'm doing a quilt. I just like that hand work, and I don't mind stitching it down like that. So made a project bag to put something in. And then I want to close with a devotion that I've been reading. You may have seen this on Instagram. It's called Stitching a Beautiful Life, and it is by Kitty Metzger. And like I said, you may have seen it on Instagram. I have purchased a book and then I've read through it all the way, and I wanted to share a quote of scripture and then a quote that she put in on the first chapter, and then just kind of throw out there, would anybody be interested in going through this next year? Maybe do a Zoom meeting once a month, and she has you create a journal of your experience as you read the book and the things that she has you think about, and she has you create a journal cover. And I just thought that was kind of neat. I thought it might be fun to do with a group, to Zoom with a group and read through it, and it pertains to our stitching, so I just thought it might be fun to do. So if there's anybody interested, I would be interested in starting it in January. And like I said, I've already read through it once. It's a really quick read, but it would be fun to take maybe have to do 1 or 2 in a couple of the months, because there are 14 chapters. So we might have to double up on 2 of the months. But I think it would be fun if anybody's interested. So in chapter 1, she starts off by saying, you are God's handiwork. And the scripture that she used, for we are his handiwork, created in Christ Jesus for good works that God has prepared in advance that we should live in them. And that's from Ephesians 2:10. And then the quote she put on here at the beginning of this chapter is, how cool is it that the same God who created mountains and oceans and galaxies looked at you and thought, the world needs one of you too. And it says anonymous, so I wasn't sure where that came from. But I really liked that. I thought that was neat. I enjoyed reading the book and would love to do it again with some friends if you're interested. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Hopefully not so long. A month and a half is a little too long, and I'd really like to see you more often and talk with you. I love comments. I love commenting back, and I love hearing what you're working on. If you'd like to be entered for the 4-year anniversary giveaway, just remember the keyword is PALM, P-A-L-M. Please don't use the word giveaway or freebie or anything like that. And you must be 18 because I have to ask for your address. But I would love for you to enter. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you're stitching things that you enjoy, whether it's samplers or smalls for fall, whatever it is. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're being thankful, like Miss Daleen would tell us to be, so grateful. I hope that you are just finding days, every day, something to be thankful for, and keep stitching, keep smiling, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.